channel and to another retail horror story. I'm a mess today. It's cold and raining. So I'm gonna sit down and do a couple. I told you guys on Snapchat, look at my hair, like what is happening? I'm gonna sit down and do a couple of these stories at once because things are winding up. I need to pack up my lights, which is so sad. So anyways, today's story is gonna be another Joanns one. You guys are gonna die. My husband was deployed in 2012, October 2012 till the end of April 2013. So when that happened, we decided that I was going to go move home to live with my parents because obviously we didn't have Aiden at the time. And you get BAH, which is base assisted housing, and it is different in each area, but because he was deployed from this location, like where we are is like one of the highest BAH rates, and so we were gonna like pocket all that money. Like you can really make some good money when your spouse is deployed, even though it's really, really sad. And so anyways, so I was working at the Joanns here, right? And they could transfer me to a store in Phoenix, and then I could transfer back, you know, when he got back, because obviously we would be coming back. And so I only have like one really crazy story from this store. I did the same exact thing almost at the other store that I did at this one. Not as much as the planograms because they already had a team for that, but I counted money in the mornings, and you know what I mean? Other than that, I was like a regular salesperson. So I worked the floor, worked the registers a lot more than I did at this one. And so this is Christmas time, and for some reason at Joanns, like they put stuff out way early. Like for holidays, like Joanns has like some pretty sweet holiday decorations. And so it was like coming up on Christmas, and so because they put it out so early, by the time like the holiday actually comes, 90% of the time it's already on clearance. For those of you who are wondering, like by the time Halloween rolls around, like the Halloween stuff is already like 75% off. And so that was the case with our Christmas stuff, right? So I'm working the registers, and this lady motioned to me like, come here. Like that's how rude she was. She was like, come here. I was like, here we go, you know. So I go walking over there. I'm like, hi, my name is Bunman. Can I help you? You know, she's like, I want this house, which, you know, we sell the like village, like porcelain houses, and like, you know what I mean? The whole setup with like the little trees and the little lampposts and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. And she's like, do you have any more in stock? And so I get out my trusty handheld and scan it to see like if we had any more in inventory, which a lot of times those things are wrong anyways. But so I said, you know, it says we have one, and so it must be the model. And she's like, can I get an extra discount? And so I was like, let me check for you and ask my manager, you know, always proper and being kind, even though this lady is a total tool. So I like get on my headset and I ask our store manager. It wasn't even our store manager. It was like one of the assistant managers, who her name started with a J, and she was just she wasn't my favorite. Let's just say that. Do you love how like animated my bun is? So I like ask her, I'm like, hey, you know, there's a guest here. They were called guests, by the way. There's a guest here who is wondering, since the last you know, house is the model and was on display. It was a display. That's the word I'm looking for. If she can get an extra discount. And she was like, no, they're already 75% off. I'm not going to give her an extra discount. Mind you, the guests can't hear that. It's like all in my ear. We have those things that like clip onto your ear. And I was like, okay, great. Thanks. And so I tell the lady, you know, like, well, because it's already on discount, like it's already on clearance. Like there's no extra discount. She's like, okay, well, I want it. I'm like, okay. So I get a ladder because like the display box was like up on the highest shelf. You can't see my hand, but it's up high. I get a little step ladder and I get the box down and I handed it to her, and she just like does one of those. I'm like, let me put that in the box for you. So if you have like these villages, you know that the box like on the inside is like styrofoam that literally fits the entire box and peels apart. You put the house in it, smash it back together, put it in. So I can't get this stupid foam out, right? I'm like sitting there like I can't get my hands in it because it's literally the size of the box. And so I'm like trying to wiggle it out, and I'm like, she's just standing there. Like she didn't offer to help me. Like no, nothing. So they have like the tabs on the box, right? So I'm like holding the tab and like trying to do this, and I ripped the box, and she was like, this is a gift and you just ripped the box. And I just looked at her. So from the get-go, I knew that this lady was going to try and do anything to get a discount, which is why she sat there and watched me trying to get this foam out, which is why she didn't try and help or anything. And so she's like, I want, you know, a further discount. So I get back on the radio to, you know, Jay. And I'm like, so I accidentally ripped the box a little bit, and it literally was like this much, and it was where the tab was, where it would put, you know what I mean? Like it would go back in the box and you wouldn't even see it anyway. And so I was like, I ripped the box a little bit, and, you know, can you come up and talk to this guest? Like she wants a discount on this item. And so I go back up to the registers, which is literally like you right across, you know, and I put the box down, and then I put the house down, and I told the lady, you know, like the assistant manager will be right with you. And she was like, ugh, you know, she was just like so mad that I ripped that box because it was a gift. And so Jay comes up, and I like went on my merry little way. Like, I don't want to deal with you. You are so rude. You know what I mean? So I went back to what I was doing. And at this store, they have like a register facing out this way, which is like the rest of the checkout lanes. And then they have a register facing this way, which is where the front door is. And that's where we did our returns for this store. And so I was like doing some paperwork, and they were like at the other register facing the other way. And I like turned around and looked up and like, you know, saw what they were doing. It wasn't like I was like eavesdropping or anything like that. Like I really didn't care. It's not coming out of my paycheck, which a lot of workers act that way, but I really don't care. Like if Joanne is gonna, or if Jay is gonna give her an extra discount, doesn't affect my day. Don't care. So I'm like doing my thing, you know, doing some paperwork and putting some stuff away because I'm up at the, like I'm a cashier, you know, and so there wasn't anybody in there. So I was just cleaning stuff up, you know, minding my own business, but I just happened to glance up when I turned around. And then, you know, I guess I must have glanced up another time because out of nowhere, okay, mind you, I'm minding my own business, she goes, if she looks at me smart one more time, I'm leaving, screams. And I like look up and I went, pfft, like did one of those like raspberries, like, pfft. I remember doing that because that's all I could get out of my mouth. Like I wanted to say a lot more, but mind you, like I still needed this job while I was staying with my parents, and I needed the job when I went back to, you know, back here. And so that's all I did. I was like, pfft. And then just walked off, and she goes, did you hear that? And I don't know what else transpired between them because I walked away. I was like, I'm done. See ya. You know what I mean? So I'm like back in the seasonal section, and I'm like freaking fuming, and there was another cashier up there with me, and her name was Brittany as well, and she started laughing, and that pissed the lady off even more. And so like I'm like pissed, but I'm also laughing because Brittany laughed, you know, and she was just like, I hear on the radio, Brittany, meet me in the office. I was like, here we go. So I go walking into the back office, which this one, they keep the offices locked, obviously. And so I knock on the door, and our store manager is in there. And she was kooky, but she was like also really cool at the same time. She's an older woman, and she's like worked for Joanns for like 20 something years. Has it been that long? I want to say it's like 20 something years. And so I go in, and I just like plop down in a chair. I'm like, well, I'm going to get written up. And she was like, what? And I explained to her like what happened. And she was like, that lady is so rude. And I was like, right? So she was like totally on my side. She's like, you're not going to get written up. So here comes Jay. Brittany, you can't do that to, you know, customers and blow air at them. I was like, blow air at them. Number one, you didn't even stick up for me when she was like attacking me, and I wasn't even paying attention to what you guys were doing. I was doing my own thing. And I was like, where were you? You know what I mean? Like like the customer is always right, even when they're like complete jerk to me when I didn't even do anything. I tried to help her, but she was hell bent on getting a freaking discount. You know what I mean? And so I was just like, okay. I can't blow air at customers. And that's as far as it went. I didn't get written up or anything like that, but I remember I like really debated on quitting because Jay always did that, like, you know what I mean? She never stuck up for the employees. And for, you know what I mean? Like certain things, like you have to have your employees back. Like otherwise they're not gonna, you know what I mean? They're not gonna work for you and work hard and do all that when, you know what I mean? The first thing a customer says out of, you know, like you're gonna believe them over me or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, and she knew that like she was just trying to get a discount because she was the one who I was talking to on the radio about this lady trying to get a discount before I ripped the box because it was a gift. So it was so stupid. I'm so glad that I don't work at that one anymore. But it was in a completely different area. Like, so it just goes to show, like, stuff like this happens anywhere you go. It's just retail. If you guys work retail, like, you know, there are just some situations that you get in and you're just like, what is happening? You know what I mean? And all for a porcelain house that really wasn't even that expensive to begin with. That was a gift. So anyways, that is it for this retail horror story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I would know that you would like me to continue doing the series. And if you are new, hello and welcome. My name is Brittany Cocco and you are watching the Cocco channel. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Amber Zombie and Witch.
So I'm wearing my Amber Zombie and Witch hoodie, which some people asked me. I got it in Salem during Halloween 2 years ago, so I don't know if they like sell these online, if my fellow Halloween addicts want something like this, maybe. I'm sure it's not like exclusive to Salem, Massachusetts. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Oh, my battery's already dying. Awesome. When you want your necklace to show that you're wearing this Gigantor hoodie. Anyways, okay, so, what was I saying? Fleet of Gaza, I'm like ready to go. That was like super country. Your hair, girlfriend, it looks like a pile of poop. Doesn't it? It like swirls and then we have this little guy. What are you doing? Just chilling. Good thing that they can't see that one. Ugh.